Given the recent SNAFU with Adobe's terms of service, what tools do you use for creating images and documentation in your projects?
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Yeah, it's a tricky thing, isn't it? Because so much information and assistance and so on that is out there is primarily for these products that are the industry standard. And Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, these are the industry standards that everyone is set up to deal with. But lots of people don't want to deal with Adobe anymore. There are alternatives out there. Affinity Publisher, their photo editor, their Illustrator stand-in. Basically, Affinity seems to have made their bones by copying Adobe for most things. But doing it under an old sort of, buy the software and you have the software sort of model. So I imagine that would be where a lot of people are going to migrate to. But, Adobe have figured out that this is where the money is somehow. Probably casual users paying subscriptions. That seems to be the model that a lot of people are heading towards. So the cancer will probably spread. But in the meantime, Affinity is probably the leading alternative piece of software that you can get. Now, I mention piracy because whatever your feelings about piracy, pirates have gone in and they have fixed a lot of Adobe software so that it will run without the subscription and without the always-on internet hookup and without the snooping and all of that. And they've been doing that for years, and I'm sure they will continue to do so. Well, the ethics of that, that's down to you. Really, I think they charge way too much for a product that has become enshittified as time has gone on. And, these new terms of service, people are overplaying it a little bit because it's the standard boilerplate text you find all over a bunch of internet stuff to a large extent, but it does go beyond that. Is it ethical for them to claim rights over your work or for them to snoop on what you're drawing? However morally repugnant they or society at large might find it to be. Arguably, the intrusion upon your privacy is a much greater transgression. After all, who really cares if you're drawing, Rule 34 pics of Hey Arnold? It doesn't really hurt anybody, does it? Piracy versus snooping, enshittification, and commercialization of stuff they have no rights to. It's a tricky one. Now, I can't say use Affinity unreservedly, particularly when it comes to desktop publishing, because the output files that you tend to get from Affinity tend to be honkingly huge and therefore unwieldy. I don't know why that is compared to InDesign. There are ways to go about fixing it. You can open and then resave using Adobe's Reader program, at least. There must be other ways around the issue. There must be settings that people are missing. But I can't unreservedly say Affinity is the way to go so long as it has these drawbacks. And the other big drawback is that you won't find as much aid, assistance, and instruction online for using Affinity as you will for Adobe products. There is always the possibility that they might go back on things or offer a stripped down, purchase it, you own it version, given the furore, but I guess we'll have to see. But I will probably at some point have to switch to Affinity or some other similar alternative program.